It's hard to explain because it means so much. It's such a special event. The last three have all been incredibly wonderful in different ways. Even in the loss, the process throughout the week, the camaraderie, the friendships, and the memories that are made are quite special. So, but the last one in Rome was so much fun. It was so incredible. We made such a fun team and such a fun week work that I want to be a part of that again and hopefully help Europe win in U.S. soil again.
That is John Rahm as we have finally made it. Many a show this year have we dedicated to the 3 days that are going to be happening at the end of this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, out in New York at Bethpage Black. Of course, I am talking about the 2025 Ryder Cup. Stephen, we look forward to this event so much. It is finally here. It's our preview episode here on the tee. How are you feeling? What are the nerves? What are the thoughts like going into this week?
There are a lot of nerves. There are a lot of thoughts, but I'm trying to channel the positive energy for our great country. You see what I'm rocking today if you're watching on the stream.
You've got the cashmere hoodie that you bought at the 2021 Ryder Cup, which was the most significant purchase that either of us made at that Ryder Cup
maybe in our golf
Whistling
lives,
Straits.
yeah. But I wear it. It's gotten its use. I think I've paid it back in the amount of times that I've worn it.
But you also only save it for pretty special occasions.
Yeah.
So the only times I feel like I've seen you wear it is in the brochure when I signed up to join the Wisconsin Country Club.
Oh, gosh. I mean, that was like days after the Ryder Cup. I was still glowing after USA's historic win, and I bought the cashmere Ryder Cup hoodie, and I wore it to play 100 holes to raise money for the first tee of southeastern Wisconsin for that event, and wore it that whole day, and it still is living on the Wisconsin Country Club website.
Yeah, so that was I've seen it there. You brought it over with you when we were in Scotland a year ago when we took our on the tee trip overseas. You wore it then.
I said that if I got on the old course, this would be the hoodie I'd be wearing, and that's what I did.
And I don't know if you've worn it. Did you take it with you when you were at Pinehurst last week?
Not this time, but the time before.
Okay.
I wore it the first time I played number 2. This time, I fortunately didn't need a hoodie in the weather conditions.
It was nice enough this time you went down. So I feel like you only break it out for the big occasions, obviously the Ryder Cup week being one of these big occasions.
Well, we need it this week. We need some positivity. We need it to feel big because it is big, and there's no event like it in golf. It's what you and I believe is the best event in the men's game, and I think that there's nothing that compares to it. It's truly the best form of competition. It showcases the best players in the world. We don't get that very often now anymore in the state of professional golf, and it's team golf. It's for an individual sport that we spend 39, 40 plus weeks praising these guys for their individual play. It just means more when you're playing for your country and for Europe, when you're playing to play against the United States of America. I think that it's just such a fun experience to see how these guys deal with this type of pressure when they're playing for something bigger than themselves.
And look, this year I think is a little bit different. The home team has dominated every one of these, basically going back to 2014. I mean, the last time somebody won on foreign soil was 2012, and the U.S. was dominating there and had the big comeback at Medina when Team USA was up 10-6, and Europe comes back in the singles matches. And ever since then, 2014 dominated by Europe, 2016 dominated by the United States, so on and so forth, getting us to where we're at Bethpage Black. The teams do feel like they're relatively equal to me. When I take a look at these, I don't feel like there's an overwhelming advantage for either side. I guess I just lean towards Team USA because A, they're home, and B, they've got the best player in the world in Scottie Scheffler.
It's like the NFL. I mean, you're going to get 3 points just for being on your home field. And I think that's what does give Team USA the edge. But I would argue that this is the strongest European team we have seen in quite some time. And I think it's going to be one of, if not the most competitive.
But it's exactly
Ryder
the
Cups.
same team we saw. I mean, again, you're just flipping out a Højgaard.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's the exact
They're running
same,
it back.
It can't be the strongest team if we've seen in some time. If we literally just saw this team 2 years ago,
how are they not stronger now 2 years later after going to Rome, dominating Team USA, and having the confidence of going to win a road game? I mean, we've heard Rory McIlroy say, we are going to go to Bethpage and we're going to win on foreign soil. That is the hardest thing to do in this sport. And, I mean, you've got these guys who have more experience playing together. Rory McIlroy's playing in his 7th Ryder Cup as your horse. How are they not a better team right now than they were in Rome?
Was Ludwig better 2 years ago or right now?
He may have been a better individual player then, but he might be a better teammate now.
I mean, I guess I don't know that for sure. It's only his 2nd Ryder Cup, but I just as a player, he was playing better in 2023 than he is right now. Like going into it, he was playing better in 23 than now.
Yeah, but he was also kind of a victim of. He played in a Ryder Cup before he played in a major. He was just kind of.
But again, like
the new sparkly toy on the team.
That was well earned. Matt Fitzpatrick, I would say, was better in 2023. John Rahm, I would say, is better than John Rahm's still really good, but he was better in 2023 than he is now. Victor Hovland, probably better in 2023 than he is now. They have a lot of name recognition because of that team, but I don't think they're playing as well as they were going into that home Ryder Cup 2 years ago.
You're talking about them individual play. I mean, this is totally different. Maybe we're talking singles matches, sure, but Team USA, on paper, their singles matches don't look nearly as strong as Team Europe does. So you're ultimately going, who's the deepest roster of the two?
Yeah, but the depth of the roster only really matters when you get to singles. You can hide a lot of the depth that you have on the roster because guys have to sit out every single session. You got 4 guys that are sitting out every session because you're only playing 8 of the 12.
Which is why I think Europe is, more dominant because they've all played together at this point.
Yeah, but you start asking guys, like if Rory and Rahm and all these guys have to play 5 times. We saw what happened when Rahm had to play 5 times. He got boat raced by Scotty in singles at Whistling Straits. Yeah, that gets exhausting, especially when you have to do it on the road. I still really like Team USA. They're favored. They should be favored. It really makes a ton of sense to me. I understand. You feel better about somebody other than J.J. Spawn or Ben Griffin or Russell Henry. These guys have been playing exceptional golf this year.
Of course. I'm looking at
J.J. Spawn. I know people want to look at him as some sort of he just won. It was a fluke. He won the U.S. Open. No, he finished 2nd in the Players too.
In my opinion, he's the 3rd best player on this team right now.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing.
Okay, so Scotty's 1.
Yeah, I think Russell Henley's their 2nd best player.
Okay, where do you put Bryson?
Bryson's 4 because we haven't seen enough of him, but he has experience in this event. I'm going back to Whistling Straits.
Chipped in that ping pong ball into the little mini cup though.
Yeah,
so he's got that going.
That's
for
great.
him.
Subscribe if you don't already. There's only seven of the 12 players on Team USA are from that team that won at Whistling Straits, and you could argue Colin Morikawa makes him 6 because he's a shell of the player that we saw, right here in Wisconsin 4 years ago. So that's half of your roster is turned over since then. I'm just saying, you look at Europe, they have 1 change from their win last year,
one
and
rookie.
it's a Højgaard.
Yeah, 1 rookie who was still present with the team. Like he was still a part of the team. I don't know what his official title was, but he was around the team. He was in the team room. He was, he had the earpiece in. He was riding around. So I think that they knew that he had the possibility of potentially being somebody, and they wanted him to be around the team. So while he did not play in that Ryder Cup, he was still around that team and seamlessly fits in. So that is a good point. That they have 1 Ryder Cup rookie where Team USA has 4 Ryder Cup rookies.
Yes. Henley, Spawn,
Griffin,
Young, Griffin. And Burns, I mean, he played on a President's Cup. He played in Rome, but he more showed up to Rome physically. I don't know about his golf game. Didn't travel too well in Europe. I think the way I also look at it, when you're the road team, you're playing with house money to a certain extent. You're not expected to win. I do think that there's a different edge to this European team right now, that because they're running it back with just 1 twin flipped out, like they have to feel as confident going into a road Ryder Cup as they have in a really long time.
And it seems like they do. We heard the clip from Rahm. Like Rory was calling his shot 2 years ago, and that's something that could solidify his legacy as he continues to move forward. But I still feel like Harris English, I don't feel like we've talked about him nearly enough this year.
He probably loves that.
Dude is a flusher of the golf ball.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that he was not a part of this team in Rome and then made his way back on this team once again, I think that speaks a lot about him. I look at this team for Team USA, and I see a bunch of like grinders, which is what I want in this event. Because Russell Henley hasn't had anything given to him. Just mentioned Harris English. Ben Griffin, I mean, the biggest headline Ben Griffin probably made is when he OD'd on creatine earlier this year.
I mean, he was the most improved player on the PGA Tour this year, and it's not even a
close.
question. I mean, maybe J.J. Spawn, you could argue, just because he won the U.S. Open. He had lost in the playoff at both FedEx St. Jude and the Players.
But JJ also is a grinder, too, because of the story that you're telling right now. This is the makeup that I want on my Ryder Cup team.
To your point, what I love about the rookies that I mentioned, Russell Henley, I think, is 35, maybe 36. JJ Spawn, 36. Ben Griffin, in his late 20s, early 30s, a guy who has had to prove it. And Cam Young, a guy who many thought would have been on the Ryder Cup 2 Ryder Cups ago, but just hasn't found that edge and able to get to that win. He gets it done at the Wyndham. He's going back home to play at Bethpage. I'm fired up, man. I just think from a competition standpoint, the way this is lining up, nothing will ever compare to 2021 because we got it in our backyard, and it's the greatest event in golf. But this is as excited as I am about a Ryder Cup and just how competitive it's going to be. If you're a golf fan, you do not want to miss this upcoming weekend.
No, I can't wait. Do you have plans?
Yeah, it's not Brewers, and it's watching a lot of golf. I am going to watch as much Ryder Cup as I possibly can. In 2021, I was there every single day, the entire week leading up to it, and I got to watch the most Ryder Cup I probably ever will in my life, unless I'm working one of them one day. But this weekend, I anticipate not missing a single shot that I can control.
That's impressive.
I've got the kids dialed into golf now.
That's true. You have shared the story. You've shared the stories of that.
They're on the course, but they like watching golf. A lot of it is because they got to watch me do it, and my wife would always have it on to listen. But the kids genuinely, they ask for golf. You know how exciting that is? They ask for golf.
This is a lot of golf, though.
Well, okay, what? It's never too much.
Yeah.
Again, if they're doing 4 days of the Cognizant Classic, we can do 3 days of the Ryder Cup.
That's fair.
Fair?
You know what? That's very fair.
All right.
Very fair.
Well, hey, I'm excited because we got some pods that have come out in the last 2 days for Team USA.
Okay.
I want to get your opinion on what the fellas look like.
Who do you think I am most intrigued to see who he is paired with?
Bryson.
Yes.
Yeah, we all are.
Bryson
is the wild card.
Because
Bryson could go pull a DJ from Whistling Straits and go 5-0, or he could go 1-4, or he could only play singles and one team match for all we know.
I don't know if as good as Bryson is, I don't know if he's playable in alt shot. Obviously, I trust him in singles. Obviously, I trust him to play his own golf ball in the 4-ball.
He has never won a foursomes match. He's 0-2 in his career. I'll have more on those stats coming up later in the show. All right, let's look at the pods.
Let's look at the pods.
All right, so
Team
we have
USA
3 pods of 4. This is something we see every Ryder Cup. It's kind of the first showing of the cards if you're the captain. You kind of want to group guys.
If you're doing it right, this is what we see.
Yeah,
this is what we should
very
see.
fair point. There were pods thrown out in Rome, and then none of these guys played together, and it.
Zach was, hey, you prepare for something else. Like, Zach thought he was coaching a football game.
I don't want to talk about Zach Johnson. It's about Keegan's squad. We're on home soil. We're winning this year, Gabe. All right. Here's the first pod.
Okay.
Bryson DeChambeau, Ben Griffin, Justin Thomas, and Cameron Young.
Okay, so from my understanding, Bryson and Cameron play the same golf ball.
Always important when you're talking about foursomes.
Which is the Titleist prototype. I even forget what it is, double dot or whatever Pro V1 version is the prototype that Cameron Young won with at the Wyndham. That apparently is the same golf ball that Bryson DeChambeau plays. So if you threw those two out in an alt shot, I'm intrigued. I think that could be a lot of fun.
If you want my honest opinion on this pod right away, it tells me that Bryson and Ben Griffin have the morning session off on Friday. Which
is foursomes.
Foursomes. Bryson's not good at alt shot because no golf ball will ever be good enough for Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They play that the only chance that exists is those two.
but Ben Griffin plays a max fly. Nobody else on this Ryder Cup team plays a max fly golf ball. That is a big deal when you're playing alternate shot.
Correct. I would agree. And the max fly, I don't know the characteristics of it as much. I actually found one on a golf course recently. It's sitting in my car. I'm kind of curious to see how it feels.
Those are the golf balls that you find that are embedded in the mud that have been there since 1993.
Max fly's trying to make a comeback.
Okay, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing Bryson. I think we're seeing Ben Griffin, the rookie, in foursomes on Friday morning.
Okay.
You could see them potentially in four ball in the afternoon. I don't mind that pairing. I think that's a good,
I just wish
you need somebody who can just deal with Bryson, and I feel like Griffin is one of the more level-headed guys on the PGA
You
Tour.
absolutely could throw those guys out in a 4-ball match. But if that's the pod, I'm disappointed because I want JT to go out first. JT did not get an opportunity to play.
It's just a pod.
Yeah.
Why can't JT and Cam Young? You roll out the New York native to a New York crowd with
because
JT?
Again, it's the golf ball thing.
JT plays Titleist?
Yeah, but not that ball.
Okay, I'm sure they're working through it.
Yes, but
they might not even be paired together. We're speculating.
We are
at this point.
speculating about the pods because this is the way you should be doing it. But I just want to say with JT, he was a captain's pick because he was supposed to be the heart and soul of the team. He didn't even get to go out, and by the time he stepped foot on the golf course, Team USA was down 4-0 on the road. If he's the heart and soul of what Team USA golf is, which I think a lot of people have made him, including myself, I think he is that guy. I think he's the new Captain America. I think he should go out first.
I think the only other argument you could make is you throw Scotty Scheffler out there and you say, we have the best player in the world by far. We dare you to beat us. And that's the statement you make. You roll out Scotty Scheffler hitting the first tee shot.
I heard another ridiculous. Scotty Scheffler stats are starting to become the new Tiger stats of outrageous things. Your buddy DJ Piehowski on the No Laying Up podcast. Did you listen to that all this week?
Sorry, friends.
So the stat was that the difference between Scotty and second place was $9-point-something million, and only 9 players on the PGA Tour made $9 million this year.
Yeah.
And that was the gap between what Scotty won.
And that's not even the bonuses he's going to get, I assume,
that's not bonuses. That's just straight on-course money.
Goodness.
He was first, $9 million ahead of Tommy Fleetwood, who was second. Rory was third.
Yeah, you win a couple of signature events and major
couple
championships.
Majors.
That
Start
usually
running
will
away
help the
from
bank
everything.
account. All right, the second pod.
Yeah, we're running. God, we got it. Hey, we've only got an hour. We got to stay focused.
Harris English, Russell Henley, Scotty Scheffler, J.J. Spawn.
Ooh. So Burns not in the pod with Scotty. That's interesting.
That's intriguing.
That's very intriguing. I'm not going to lie. And maybe it's just because Scotty's there. I love that pod.
Yeah.
I feel like you can mix and match that pod all day long.
I think the third pod will make a lot of sense as to why Sam Burns is not in that pod. Do you just want me to lay it out there for you? Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele. I think that they have to pair the ball striking of Morikawa with the putting of Sam Burns.
Ooh, I like that.
And
I like that.
That's your best chance.
Well,
and again, I think that is probably your runner for not opening in foursomes, but playing in 4-ball.
And Cantlay and Schauffele,
they have to play together.
Well, yeah, Cantlay and Schauffele are who I wanted JT and Spieth to be.
Still could be. You're saying they are right now what you wanted them to be.
I wanted Spieth and JT to be like the stalwarts in this amazing team, and unfortunately, my guy Jordan didn't live up to his end of the donkey on that.
Yep.
And Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele are the most formidable U.S. team that they have.
Yeah, and some of the only two that have winning records in the Ryder Cup, just based on the last couple of years. Xander is 4-4, and Patrick Cantlay is 5-2-1 in his Ryder Cup.
Yeah, so pairing those two together it's a no-brainer. So those two have to be together. And Burns with Morikawa, as great of a putter as Burns is, you can put Burns and Morikawa together in alt shot as well.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler paired together, strictly from a length standpoint. Russell is definitely the shortest hitter of probably all 24 golfers, and Scotty, he literally just doesn't miss fairways and hits the ball 320 yards. It's a pretty good combination.
Well, and it doesn't matter. Even if Russell Henley's hitting the drive, any iron in Scotty Scheffler's hands you feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Scotty and Russell are paired together the entire week.
That's kind of been the rumor.
Yeah.
I feel like for the last 3 or 4 months at this point.
Which would make a whole lot of sense. In my opinion, those are your best 2 golfers on Team USA right now based on this entire PGA Tour season and also just the way that they have trended together, how their balls, how the games fit alongside of one another, their temperament. I think we're going to see a little bit more fire from Scotty Scheffler, and Russell Henley is just a bulldog. I mean, he's probably one of the quietest, great golfers that we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years on the PGA Tour.
So that's what the pods look like. We have so much more to get into in our Ryder Cup preview. Plus, Steven has an envelope story that he is going to be sharing just in a little bit. But we are presented by our friends at Majestic Oaks. Hosted us earlier this year, hosting the WTMJ Classic. It is a fantastic golf course down in Delavan, 2 miles of lakefront on the golf course. Beautiful front nine, very unique and different back nine. The nines, you can see the similarities, but they're very different. It's a fun golf course to play if you haven't. Plus, it's hard to beat their family fun night where you get golf, cart, drinks, snacks, all for under $15 a person.
Soak it up right now while the weather's still good here in September.
Oh, man, especially with all those trees. Those trees around the lake, those start to change color. That would be fantastic. LakeLawnResort.com is the website. Book your next tee time with down in Delavan at Lake Lawn Resorts and Majestic Oaks. On the tee, it's our preview issue for the Ryder Cup, but I do want to tell you about our friends at Erin Hills. We go out there every year. We love it because, well, what's not to love? They're the 10th ranked public course in the nation, according to Golf Digest. Whether you're looking to play next year, stay in play, stay overnight, check out everything they have there, from the Drumlin putting course, which I feel has been a little underrated at this point. The Drumlin, just so much fun. Or just go out there for some drinks on the patio. Book your next tee time today at erinhills.com.
I know I love Erin Hills, but can you imagine Erin Hills as a Ryder Cup venue? Would be pretty electric match play. Pretty good match play venue. Just throwing it out there. The finishing stretch.
Yes, I know it would be a great match
Could you imagine 15 in match play? Oh, gosh. Sure, par 4, drivable, up the hill. Risk reward.
I don't want to think
12.
about it. Oh. I don't want to think about it, Steven, because it's going to be frustrating when it never happens, right? When it doesn't happen. Because it would be a fantastic match play golf course. It would be a fantastic, big as that property is. Yes, I mean, it is a great everything golf course. Again, check them out, erinhills.com. All right, you've got a fun story that you wanted to share around the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I want to make it our gem of the week this week, the envelope story. It's
of course, the gem of the week brought to us by our friends at the Jewelry Center. Watches, jewelry repair, of course, engagement rings. It's where I went to get my wife's engagement ring. It's where I went for the wedding band, my watch. The only place I trust for everything is the Jewelry Center. Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. Shop TJC.com.
It's one of the things that most people have no idea it exists, and that's the entire point of it. It's the envelope. And, shout out to Jamie Kennedy, the director of digital content for Golf Digest, for putting this thread out there on social media. I'm just going to pretty much read you his thread because I think it does a great job detailing exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the Ryder Cup. So since 1979, when the Ryder Cup became Europe versus USA, each captain was required to put one name in an envelope before the Ryder Cup. And the reason, pretty simple. If a player is injured and can't play singles, the name in the other team's envelope will sit out singles and both players will get a half point. Rarely do we see injuries in the middle of a Ryder Cup, so this doesn't come into play very often. But if they're injured for the first 2 days, obviously they sit out, right? Because they can be one of the 4 golfers who sits out in those team sessions. But in 2002, Curtis Strange, Ryder Cup captain, he said, quote, "The whole thing is very uncomfortable. Writing a name on the paper, sealing it with an envelope. You don't ever want that name to get out. You don't ever want to destroy someone's confidence, but you're obligated to put a name in the envelope." So this envelope had to be opened twice. 1991, 1993. It has never happened since. But in 2021, when the Ryder Cup was here at Whistling Straits, you may remember there was a global pandemic. So there were actually 4 names written on.
Oh, in case somebody tested positive,
exactly.
things of that
Because
nature.
of COVID, each captain put one name in an envelope and then 3 more in another envelope. So players who might have been paired with the envelope player, in case they may have tested positive for COVID, also had to be taken out. Steve Stricker, this was his quote in 2021. He said, quote, "I'll probably talk with my assistants and then never tell them who I put in there." You don't want to have anybody know that they went into the envelope. At least I wouldn't want to know if I was in there, and probably was in there at some point in my Ryder Cup career. So you're wondering.
Strick played in what, 3?
He played in, I believe, 3. Yeah.
Okay.
What happens to the envelope? That'd be
a
the
great
next question, right? Does it ever get opened?
Well,
Does anybody
so-
find out? Well,
So who do
according,
they turn that? They turn it into some sort of tournament official from the PGA, I would assume.
yeah, the PGA of America holds the envelopes. Kerry Haig, who is, runs the PGA of America, say usually it is burned and never spoken of ever again.
I love that.
So that's the envelope story, and that happens at every Ryder Cup, and I just thought it's one of the really unique things that nobody even knows about. Again, thank you to Jamie Kennedy for bringing that out there. So, Gabe, as our gem of the week, you look at the rosters. We'll never know unless we have to know.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the 2 names? One for Europe and one for Team USA. Essentially, who do you take out?
So, I think it's an easy decision if you're Luke Donald. I think it's Rasmus.
Yes.
I think that's the easy decision. That's the name you put in there.
Welcome to the Lads Club. You're out.
he's the only rookie
We'll
that
take
you
Nikolai,
have.
but Rasmus, you're out.
Yeah, he's the only rookie on their.
But if
that was-
Rasmus got hurt, couldn't they just insert Nikolai? We probably would never know.
We would never know.
Yeah.
We would never know. So I think Rasmus would be the name that goes in the envelope because he was the 12th man. Like it seemed like that spot that he ended up taking was the 12th man. He's the only rookie on the team. To me, on Europe, it's an easy decision. For Team USA, I think it's a trickier decision. For me,
I can guess. Can I guess?
Yes.
Colin Morikawa.
Yes, Colin Morikawa.
God, I would put that name so quickly. I would put it in pen. I wouldn't even put it in pencil right now for Team USA.
That's the name to me that goes in the envelope because
Keegan might actually trip Colin and then insert himself.
It hasn't gone well for Colin down the stretch here. And again, that's why I wonder for Colin if he's only playable in alt shot. We're talking about how Bryson, obviously you trust him playing his own golf ball. I don't know if I trust Colin playing his own golf ball right now.
No.
But you take his iron shots and have somebody else putt for him. I feel better about that.
Gosh, the more I think about this, you think Keegan's quietly hoping somebody gets hurt? Right?
So he can put
So he
Colin?
can play? No,
so he can
so
play.
he can play.
I can't imagine at this point an injury that would crop up on Team USA.
God, that's kind of like a win-win for Keegan. It's like I get to play. Maybe I could be the hero, and if not, hey, I'm the ultimate good guy. I put Team USA ahead of all of us.
Well,
but
that
you rolled your
would
ankle,
be,
Colin. You
well,
fell down the stairs. I'm your guy.
It would be the ultimate way for him to play because, presumably if you have an injured player, he's missing all the sessions, all the team sessions. So Keegan could still be the captain. Once you set the lineup for singles, your job is basically done.
And if somebody gets hurt in the next couple of days leading up to Friday, Keegan does have the ability to choose anybody he wants to be an alternate. I'm sure that he knows who that person is going to be. Maybe it's himself. But hopefully we don't need
But again,
to
the
deal with that.
easy thing would be, hey, I'm not going to play it all in the early sessions and the first 2. I'll just play the singles match.
Yeah.
Because once that lineup is set, you got nothing to worry about as a captain.
Yep.
There's literally nothing you can do after that. All the preparation, all the other work that's done. So that would be an interesting angle. But again, on Team USA, I like the form of just about everybody coming into this other than Colin.
Yeah.
And I guess JT, if you want to put JT because he shot over par at the Pro Corp, but I'm not that concerned about JT.
But just
I look at JT as this ultimate gamer, and maybe that's wrong, but that's the way I look at JT.
Yeah, JT has never lost a singles match in his Ryder Cup career. He's 3-0. You're not putting that name on your list. But Colin Morikawa, 0-1-1 in singles matches in his 2 Ryder Cups. So I kind of, crazy enough, agree with you that I would probably put Colin's name on there because I think he's on there more for a formality than certainly his golf game as of late.
Maybe you could put one of the rookies on, but there's no way you're putting Cameron Young on that list.
No, you're not putting Ben Griffin.
Nope. So now you're going to put Henley
You're
or
not putting
Spawn?
Henley.
No, or Spawn. They're playing fantastic.
No, I think
it's probably Burns or Morikawa because
Yes.
Burns seemed to be the 12th guy.
Yeah, And he lost his singles match in Rome, but most of them
I mean,
did.
who didn't?
So, yeah. Just looking at the singles matches of Team Europe, the only argument you could make, Shane Lowry is 0-1-1 in his singles match career. But
What
and
about
Matthew Fitzpatrick has never won a singles match. He's 0-3-0.
do you have Robert McIntyre's record?
Yeah, if you remember, he was kind of their quiet MVP in Rome. He won his singles match. He was 2-0-1 overall in Rome. He was undefeated for Team Europe.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think he would just be because he's someone who I think consistently gets overlooked, would be another candidate. But again, I think for the European team, because you would also be like in the unfortunate, I feel like in the unfortunate event that has to be revealed, right? That name has to come out of the envelope. As a captain, you have to now have to explain yourself.
Yeah.
And that, for Team Europe, would be the easiest explanation.
I think Rasmus probably already talked to Luke Donald. He's like, well, my name's on there, right?
Yeah, my
Let's
name's
just get this out of the
yeah.
way. Let's clear the room, clear the elephant in the room.
I think so. I think that's the easy. Team USA is a lot more interesting.
If we get to this point this weekend, I hope NBC is ready to do like NBA draft style. I want to see Kerry Haig, the PGA of America, head of the PGA of America, come out there, rules official, and announce it like a draft pick. Give us the theater.
Yeah, you have to. You got to lean into it, certainly. We have a lot more to come in our Ryder Cup preview here on the tee. But if you're looking to make a great tee time, now this is another golf course that looks great in the fall. But again, we're in Wisconsin. What doesn't? Of course, I am talking about the Bog. Golfthebog.com is the website. Beautiful piece of property. They host the ESPN Milwaukee Open. Steven and I play 100 holes out there with our with the Mac Fund Ringer event. Great in the community. Great golf course to play. If you're looking for a great tee time, go to golfthebog.com. Steven and I getting ready for the Ryder Cup this weekend in the States, but we just had our Ryder Cup event at the Wisconsin Country Club. I was able to participate in it. Thankfully, I was on Team USA because I've got some USA-themed apparel that I like to wear. I had some USA shorts that I threw on. Yeah,
it looked great.
Had the USA shorts. That doesn't go well if you're on Team Europe. But I was on Team USA and we won. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for Team USA. But if you're looking to participate in great club events like that, if you're looking to join a great club, join the Wisconsin Country Club. No assessments, no food and beverage minimums, the great course that we constantly talk about here, plus other amenities, tennis, pickleball, pool. Steven loves the pool for the kiddos during the summer. We've got a lot of great things going on. So what are you waiting for? Check out WisconsinCountryClub.com. It's just a fairway away.
I'm fired up to hear USA won that.
Yeah. So it was tied. After alt shot and best ball on Friday, it was tied dead even going into the singles matches on Saturday.
So I want to hear, what's the best version of Gabe Neitzel in a Ryder Cup format? Are you a foursomes, four ball, or singles? What brings out the best in you?
So I feel like, and it didn't reflect it, unfortunately, because me and my partner got boat raced in the alt shot. It was just a 9-hole match. We lost 4 and 3 because the other team was 1 under par.
That's impressive.
Yeah, in the alt shot. The team we were playing hit a pretty good tee shot on 6. We're trying to claw our way back. And there's a couple of trees on the right that they were behind. Tough shot. One of their guys, who's actually in one of the assistant pros, because we had odd numbers, so we ended up playing, hit an unbelievable, he's lefty, hit this hook around the trees, hit like 10 feet, guy made the putt. Downhill putt on 6
to
put us away.
Only the hardest hole in the golf course.
But I love alt shot because most people are uncomfortable with alt shot. And I just love playing it. It's a different format. And the one thing that we were talking about after we got done with the event with a couple of the guys on Team USA, man, I love that alt shot. We should I wish there were more formats of that. So we had switched. Actually, our member this year was best ball on Friday, and then it was select drive alt shot. So modified alternate shot where you both tee off. And
I like that a lot.
And then you get to pick the drive, and then you play alternate shot in from there. So hopefully they get to play some more alternate shot.
I think more people should think about when they go out as foursomes, playing something like that.
Yeah.
Like just going out and playing the front 9 best ball, the back 9, you play alt shot. And just
honestly, one of my favorite rounds that I ever played out there was one of the first rounds I played out there. We played out there in February with 9 guys.
Yeah, that was
split up into teams of 3.
There were stymies involved. That got a little out of hand.
That got a little out of hand. But the format idea was great of teams of 3 where 2 guys play alt shot, one person plays their own ball, and you kind of rotate through.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun. And
I
a
have
little
to
bit
run
of a
that
different
back
format.
in a little late fall when the golf course quiets down.
Just let me know. I'm
All
there
right.
for that. But we want to get to the actual Ryder Cup coming up this weekend. Friday on USA, Saturday and Sunday on NBC. So no early round coverage on Peacock. No, you just got to lock it onto one channel every day, and you're able to do that. But in every Ryder Cup, there's heroes and there's villains. I would make the argument that Patrick Cantlay, even though we root for him, was probably looked at as one of the villains, or at least his caddy was looked at as the villain in Joe LaCava the last time we played the Ryder Cup, and that was over in Rome, and the whole hat controversy and all of those things. So,
well, I had my hat off just for Patrick this week here, if you're watching on our stream.
I saw a report yesterday. Everyone on Team USA was wearing hats.
Okay.
So, again, there's just... Everybody was out there. Everybody was wearing a hat. So now, hopefully we don't have to worry about that this year.
We haven't had any bad press leading up to this Ryder Cup. If you think about the one in Whistling Straits, it was all Bryson and Brooks. They hate each other. Think about
That's true.
The media did their best to try and poke the bear and bring some drama.
Well,
they didn't help each other's
fairness.
cause.
They didn't, specifically Brooks, didn't really help either.
One of my favorite moments of that Ryder Cup was being in that press conference after they won. The whole press conference, I will never forget, especially DJ. He was, was he drunk. But was Bryson and Brooks sharing a hug with the Ryder Cup trophy, and Bryson doing bring it in here, buddy, in his cheesy Bryson way, and Brooks did it, and everybody was drunk, and everybody clapped and cheered, and it was a good moment.
I maintain that's at the Straits, the crowning achievement of DJ's career. I know he won 2 majors, but to go 5-0 and then dominate the press conference in the way in which he did,
for a guy who's never been a good soundbite in his entire life,
pretty spectacular, crowning achievement. It's all been in golf career. It's all been downhill. Obviously, his personal life, his bank account has gone up, and that's been great for him. But that certainly is his crowning achievement in golf. So we want to look at heroes and villains. Yeah,
and what I was going to say was going into Rome, a lot of the drama was Cantlay and Xander reportedly complaining about not making money. So I'm just happy, knock on wood, where we sit here on Tuesday, that we don't have any drama going into Friday. Clean slate right now. Love to see that. So heroes and villains. When you talk about a Ryder Cup, I want to know, Gabe, hero is essentially who's going to play the best? Who is going to anchor their team to a win? And I want to make picks for both teams, and I also want a villain, and a villain isn't who's going to play the worst. Who is going to be the guy that you would hate to face, but you would love having him on your team? Kind of the catalyst, the igniter. Somebody like Cantlay in Rome, or Patrick Reed in Hazeltine, or heck, you could argue it was Rory in Hazeltine. It was who else? Poulter, Sergio over the years.
There's a number of different examples. Let's start with the hero for Team Europe. And to me, this is pretty easy. He's the heart and soul of this team. He's the one who has made it very clear that the Ryder Cup, to be honest, a complete about-face from earlier in his career. Team Europe wins this if Rory plays like Rory McIlroy. If Rory's got to play probably 4 or 5 sessions, and he's got to go 4-1, 5-0. Rory has to be the guy, in my mind, for Team Europe. I think he's got to be the hero for them.
Yeah, last time he played in U.S. soil, he was in tears after his performance at Whistling Straits. That will... all of the majors, all the success, that will be always one of those moments for Rory McIlroy that I remember in his career, was just how much this means to him. And I think that you could say that probably about the entire European Ryder Cup team. I'm going to go with Tommy Fleetwood, because I think he's actually trending the best of anybody on Team Europe going into this week. It's been the year of Tommy. He finally got his win. He's the FedEx Cup champion. He was knocking on the door, had a couple of heartbreaks. He's 7-3-2. In his Ryder Cup career. He's 4-0 in foursomes, and Team USA is going to roll out foursomes to begin this tournament.
To me, Fleetwood's the villain.
but he's not fiery.
No,
He's just a
but
silent assassin.
I know. I'm going to be yelling at my television. Why don't you choke like you choked earlier this year? I want to see that. Like, that's what I'm going to be yelling at my television when he's draining putt after putt after putt to clinch matches. And I'm going to be wondering out loud while I'm yelling at my television, why aren't you choking like you did at the BMW this year? Like you did at, no, it was Memphis, I believe, in the playoff event. And
Memphis.
then the one up in Connecticut. That
Travelers.
the Travelers. Where he made a bogey when all he needed to do was make a par to secure a playoff spot. Like, I'm going to be yelling at my television because Tommy Fleetwood's just going to be, he's going to be like that thorn in the side all throughout this entire thing to me.
Yeah. And he's like smiley and happy and impossible to not like. It's
I know.
It's frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about for
And
Team
by
USA?
the way, I love Tommy Fleetwood. I'm going to hate him for 3 days this week.
That's what the Ryder Cup is all about. I love most of the European Ryder Cup team.
By the way, honorable mention for villain for Team Europe is Victor Hovland.
Oh, you jumped into villain on me just because I picked Tommy to be my hero?
Yeah, I did. Well, I just did it right away
Okay.
because
All right.
you said
We're
Tommy,
gonna go.
so I'm talking about villain.
We're going to go Europe, hero, villain. So
Yeah.
I picked Tommy as my hero. I think he will play the best of Team Europe. Who is your hero for Team Europe?
Oh, Rory.
That's
Rory,
right.
Rory.
Okay. I think the villain is so easy. The guy
Rom?
who is going to embrace this crowd like we've never seen it. Like New York crowd and this guy on Team Europe are a match made in heaven.
Wait, you think Tyrrell?
It's Tyrrell.
See, but I think you can get under Tyrrell's skin.
Yeah, but I mean, trust me. If there are any fans who are going to the Ryder Cup listening to this podcast, you better do everything in your power to rattle that man because I do think that he has that type of, explosion in him, but he was paired with Rahm in Rome, and he's likely going to be paired with Rahm again in America, and that's going to be the group that are going to embrace the villains.
We are quickly running out of time.
I know. Gosh, okay.
So
Hero.
quickly, just quick honorable mention, and maybe this is just because going into the last Ryder Cup, it's like, oh, Victor Hovland can't chip. And then he chipped in on the green on the first hole of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
So honorable mention goes to Victor Hovland. Split hero for Team USA, kind of the same thing with Scotty Scheffler.
Yep.
Obviously, Scotty has to play well, but also Cameron Young. I think Cameron Young's like the sneaky hero of the team
Would
and
love to see
somebody
it.
that they, I think, are going to be able to rely upon because of how well he fits this golf course and how well he had been playing the second half of the season.
Yeah, remind you of like Robert McIntyre in his debut in Rome when he went 2-0-1. My hero, it's obvious. You have to ride your horse. Team USA needs Scotty Scheffler to play well. He's 2-2-3 in his Ryder Cup career. Lost both of his foursome matches that he's played in the Ryder Cup. He's going to probably play 5 sessions, and we need to see Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, needs to play a
win
minimum of 4.
He needs to go at least 3-1-1.
Yeah, 3.5 points.
Yeah, we need to see that from Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
He needs to be the hero, and I think he's to be paired with Henley. I love that matchup.
Villain's obvious, right? For Team USA?
Yeah, of course.
It's
Yeah.
Bryson.
Yeah.
Because he was also the guy who drove the green at the straights and held up his putter as he walked off the first tee.
the crowd is going to love Bryson more
Yes.
than they love anybody
Yep.
else. And I want to see the dog in J.J. Spawn. Don't forget who he lost in the playoffs to this year. Rory, Justin Rose. Think about that.
We give our one call. That's all. Who's winning the Ryder Cup? That's next on the tee. We have reached that time. It is time for our Gruber Law Offices One Call. That's all. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. You know what to do. One call. That's all. Steven, we're here. Who's winning the Ryder Cup?
It's going to be close. I think it's going to be decided by maybe a point. I'm going to go 14.5 to 13.5.
As close as it can get.
Captain Keegan leads the USA to a win at Bethpage, and I think they're going to play for Keegan. I think they understand what's at stake. I'm going USA winning on their home soil, Gabe.
I think it's going to be relatively close going into the final day, but Team USA ultimately pulls away. The home team just wins, and they win by a lot. It's been what the Ryder Cup has been. I don't know how you fix that at this point, but I think Team USA wins 16-12.
I love that. Do it for Keegan. Do it for America.
We will react to the Ryder Cup next week right here on the tee.